My biggest advice to anybody that asks about my legs is squat. I've squatted since I was probably 13 years old, and that was the one exercise that no one really wanted to do. I was squatting over 400, 500 pounds, as a sophomore, junior in high school, and so ever since then I love putting big weight on my back and just kind of getting after it.
Now, I do want to comment on one thing. What I want you to focus on here is what's happening to his spine. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. We're going to notice that he starts up with an arch in his spine, but he goes down to a point where there's no way he can keep that arch in his spine. He ends up tucking his tailbone under. Okay, I'm going to back it up just a little bit here. See? Boom. Boom. Back it up again. Arch. No arch. No arch. His tailbone tucks under. That's potentially risky for the lumbar spine. Now, his legs look great, right? The question is, would his legs look that good if he stopped just a little sooner before that tailbone tucked under? I say yes, I think it would. The belief that we need an absolutely full range of motion, otherwise we get nothing, that's just wrong. You can do a 90% range of motion, 85% range of motion, and get just as much benefit. And in some cases, like if you were doing a preacher curl, there's no way you would want to bottom out on a preacher curl. You know that would be risky on your elbow, on your bicep tendon. There's too much load at the point of elongation. Same here, there's too much load at the point of elongation. One of the things that I want to mention here is the participation of the gluteus when we're doing a squat. Clearly, it's participating in a big way. In fact, the rule in biomechanics is whichever muscle is most crossing resistance belongs to the muscle that's doing the most work. So when you're doing a squat movement, you'll notice that the upper leg, the femur bone, is the one that's most crossing gravity, which means the gluteus muscle, which is operating the femur, is getting more work than the quadricep, which is operating the lower leg, because the lower leg is not crossing resistance as much as the femur is. It's barely breaking parallel to resistance. There's no doubt that the squat is about, conservatively, 60%, maybe as much as 75% of the movement, as opposed to the quadricep. Those of us who want to make our glutes bigger should do squats. But it would be a mistake to think the lower you go on that squat, the more glute you're going to get. And the reason for that is because there is a rule that's called the all or nothing principle of muscle contraction. And that means that when a muscle is activated, it activates fully. And whether you're doing a 100% range of motion or a 90% range of motion, you're getting just as much stimulation for growth as you could either way. Now, if you gotta, the lower you go on the squat, if you only went at 25% down, then that femur is not crossing gravity very much. But once you break parallel to the ground, you're getting full gluteus activation. Going lower than parallel to the ground, you're not getting any additional. So, and you are getting some lower back strain and you are getting some knee strain. So I definitely discourage people from going all the way down, but to the heels on the squat. What you want to do is come down in the squat only as far as you can maintain that arch in your spine. As soon as you see that tailbone tuck under, you've gone too far.